morning. Today, I will show you how to play my chosen game and what I did with my revised game. And by the way, my game is Rotating Tower platform game. But first, I'll tell you a small background of the game from my reference. First, the instructions of the game. Left and right keys to walk, up and down to climb, and space to jump. Of course, the goal is to collect the coins, avoid monsters, and to reach the top of the tower. This game I got from this website, codeincomplete.com, was based on another game from Nebulius, aka Tower Toppler. But this game I got is not intended to be a clone of Nebulius, but an inspiration of the game. The difference between the Nebulous and Rotating Tower platformer game is ladders instead of elevators because it's easier to program, ground instead of water, no need to animate, no dissolving platforms, no shortcut doors, no exit at top of the tower, no real way to die, no score, no timer, no level designs, and coins to collect. The limitations of my game, or the game from my reference, is modern browser only, which is Chrome, Firefox, and IE 910. No mobile support, no touch support, no endgame, and no menu. How the game works. At its, at its heart, it's really just a slightly more complex version of earlier tiny platformer with some changes. The 2D map is rendered as a simulated 3D tower. The 2D map must wrap horizontally. Entities are bigger than a single cell, making the collision detection more complex. Real animated sprites instead of plain rectangles. Next, going to the foundations of the rotating tower. For the code structure, the JavaScript code from this demo is broken into two parts. Common.js, general purpose game foundation code, tower.js, rotating tower specific game code. Much of common.js has been extracted from the previous games and provides DOM dot asterisk or simple DOM helpers, game.run, a fixed time step game loop, game.canvas, HTML5 canvas helpers, game load, and game map. The game loop, common to all previous games, is simple fixed time step game loop that will use request animation frame to provide a render loop while maintaining an independent fixed time step update. And this is the sample of the code from the game loop, or from the game I got. Then the loading assets. The common.js module provides two helper methods for this. Game.load.images. This is to load multiple images and call back when complete. Next is game.load.json. Makes every simple AJAX call to load and parse JSON data. In our main tower.js module, we can now load our images followed by your JSON level data and finally run the game loop once all assets have been loaded. This is the code from the tower.js. Next, the module pattern constants and variables. This is from the common.js and the tower.js. And here's the sample of the code inside those files. Next is we'll go to the rotating tower rendering. The important thing to realize is that the rendering is completely independent of the game logic. The actual game update loop, along with all the collision detection logic, is a simple, traditional, two-dimensional platform game that doesn't care or know about the fact that it is a rotating tower. From this reference, there are two kinds of the game, the flat and the round. The round one is you have the 3D of the tower while climbing, but the flat one is only a flat that keeps on repeating itself when you go left or right, but still goes up with the same goal, same monsters or the blockers, and same coins you get. I'll show you the game of the round later. Of course, the tower. This is from the tower.js. This shows how or what is the or what's inside the tower, or how he made the tower. You can see the width, the height, the horizon, the meter, column width, and the row height. The tower is initialized with the number of rows and columns defined in the level map. An inner radius, an outer radius. The inner radius is how wide should the tower be, or the walls, and the outer radius is how wide should the tower be, including the platforms. Then, another thing to initialize is the total width, the total height, and the map. The 2D array are of cell types, example, the platform, the ladder, the coin, or the air, etc. And here's another sample of the code, the game. The wrapping around. This can be achieved by normalizing the result whenever we increment or decrement a horizontal axis related value. This generic method is provided in the common.js module. And again, sample codes. Then the utility methods. In addition to the normalizing, we provide more utility methods for frequently needed conversations. The x-coordinate, y-coordinate, and the x-coordinate to 0 to 360-degree angle around the tower. Sample code, transforming coordinates, transforming y, sketch of the game to paper. First is the height, horizon, y, c dot y, s dot y, and the height horizon. Another sketch. Of course, the algorithm rendering the tower. There's a image of the game, and so on and so forth. Now, this is the game I got from codeincomplete.com. Here, each coin have a point of 50. So here you can see 150, then 200, because I got one coin in addition. Then you need to go up the tower, collect the coins. As I said earlier, the goal is to go up, collect the coins, and avoid the blockers. When you hit blockers or monsters, you will go down the tower, depending on how high you are in the tower. Just go up. And for the information about my game or my revised game from this original game, is mostly the characters, which is the main player, the blockers, and the monsters. There are 3 monsters, which is this one, then this is the blocker, the green one, another monster, and another monster.